Okay, so I'm officially recording. I just have to now record here. External microphone. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm officially recording. Hello, my name is Sarah, and today on this video, I'm going to be discussing something that's been a personal hobby of mine. I'm very much learning. I'm a student, and my goal really is to push myself to learn new things and talk about it and share about it, and I don't know, maybe find some friends within this journey. But the topic of the video and one of my goals is to use astrology and through a financial lens. So that's kind of a goal of mine. The past couple years, I've been learning about how astrology can be used to learn more about, let's say, if you want to start a business, you can treat it as the day that you start your business. It will technically have a birth chart. And I've been, for a couple years, have been using or learning to use astrology to time and find patterns of the cryptocurrencies and stock markets, but I never really felt like that was a passion of mine. I think it's really cool, and I think that people who use astrology, like the moon cycles or any other planet, to find the patterns of the market, how the energies are being pushed or pulled towards, how it influences the price of the market going up or going down. And the people are using astrology to accurately find these patterns. I think that's so cool and so incredible. That didn't really stick with me because I didn't feel passionate about it, but what I am finding is like I'm still interested in utilizing astrology and finding the patterns and really opening up the gates to how to be more flow in life with the energies around stability, the energies around finances, the energies around shared resources. So I'm drawn to astrology to find what what I may be more inclined to do, or what I might be better at, or what areas I might need improvement on. And just as a little bit of a disclosure, and if you watch any other of my videos on my YouTube channel, you'll see that I kind of have a different perspective about the matrix, the system. So I think astrology is a fantastic tool, but with any type of like esoteric knowledge or information, I believe that we're not bound to things like that. We're not bound to, like numerology or astrology or archetypes or, things like that. But we're not bound to them, but they have a huge influence on the matrix of our system. So although I feel like I can be anything I want at any time, I don't think that we're super bound to these kinds of information, but it could be a tool. So one way I like to look at it is like, if you are a person that doesn't like the things that hold up the matrix system, that's okay. I kind of, for a long time, have had to find peace in a lot of the things that hold up the matrix. But one way for me is not to avoid certain things, but to find my way through it. There's going to be a lot of distractions today. I really wanted to put this video up, and for some reason the past like 2 weeks I've been working on practicing with the chart that I'm about to show, and I just don't really have the space to to record. So I'm just in the backyard patio. Okay, Paco, say goodbye. He said no. Whoa, he said no. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep going, but you will see the dogs. So as I was saying, the only way, I guess, with my next journey is to go through some of these systems. But we're not bound to any of this, right? So let's get started. And if you've made it along this far, thank you. It's my first time doing this. I'm a student and I'm still learning and still doing a lot of research about the planets and about finances and how you can use energy. So, yeah, maybe you can, if you want to teach me something, you can do that, leave a comment, and I'll be more than happy to look at it. But here's a cool picture that is not showing very well on my document that I will be showing, so I wanted to show it first. So here are some of the planets that I'll be going over, and the goal is for to find the flow towards wealth. Now, it's not all about wealth. So, but if you are, this could be for anyone, for someone who is learning how to interact with money and finances, and or someone who is in it far in the game and who's built the reputation, who's built the credibility, who's built the financial revenue where they can consider themselves wealthy. But wealthy is just a broad term. And for me, wealth could be many things. For me, honestly, if I can be as peaceful as I possibly can in this life, like that's wealthy for me. If I can bring as much light or consciousness into my being and my center and anchor that, like that's wealth to me. So wealth can be many things to many different people. For this purpose and for strictly sticking to personal financial astrology, we are going to be talking about finances, resources, relationships, things that maybe you'll find around the concept of wealth. So in this particular chart, we're going to be looking at the second house here, which is linked to personal income. And we're going to be looking at the 8th house, which is linked to joint finances. And we're going to be looking at the 11th house, which governs network growth, opportunities. And then we're going to be looking at the 10th house, which could be linked to career, your career path that you take. So here's a really cool picture that I like. It's like you have the river flowing, and then I'm trying to link in specific houses that I find that I'm like, every house matters and every sign matters, right? No one is more important than the other, but there are two particular houses that I wanted to start with in this journey, and that was the second house with Pluto and Scorpio that's the second house of, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It's not Pluto. It's, see, I'm learning, so bear with me. But Taurus, tangible assets. My Pluto is in my second house, so that's why I guess, yeah, I said that too, but my Pluto is in my second house. So aside from that, the second house is, Taurus house. It's like, how are we going to get tangible assets? What is my value, self-esteem? What are my values around making money? How do I want to make money? So I really wanted to start this journey around the second house, and then around the 8th house, because for me personally, it's kind of like part of the challenge or part of the goal is to find myself having people at my table, having the right relationships, having the right partnerships, having the right alliances. So part of my vision of wealth or abundance is having the right people in my corner. So I really wanted to look at the 8th house, which is all about shared shared resources and shared finances. But then as this journey unfolded for me, and I'm looking at a chart, I'm like, well, this is important too. Or like, what about this house? What about the 10th house? Like, or where is this, the planetary ruler leading me? So I'm kind of going where I feel that the chart is leading me. So this is not going to just be a rigid thing, right? It's like not rigid, and it's so layered, and you can go as in depth as you want with this. But for now, and for this particular chart that I'm doing, we are looking at the second house, the eighth house, the 10th house, the 11th house, and then we're going to start there. So there's a cool little picture. So we're going to go into the report that I made, and the reason why I showed you that picture is because this one's really blurry, so just gotta leave it in there because I want to. Okay, so what my goal is to really find the financial storyline in a birth chart. So that's my whole goal here. Can I find the financial thread? Can we make a financial storyline around a birth chart to get the financial picture, so we can bring some financial positive energy and bring in the flow and find success within the birth chart. So that's my goal here, finding the personal financial storyline in your birth chart. And the framework that I used is whole sign. And the purpose of this analysis is that to use your birth chart as a strategic map to explore how you naturally approach money, career development, and financial partnerships. By understanding these patterns, you can make more intentional decisions that support sustainable wealth and personal fulfillment. And I'm going to bring this down so I can bring this up. Okay, so again, my framework is to start at the second house. The second house is personal income, how an individual earns, values money, and builds personal financial stability. We're then going to look at the 8th and the 10th house. So the 10th house here is all about career. So that's an important house for me to look at here. It's the professional direction, the public reputation, and how career choices influence financial growth. So that's the 10th house. Then we're going to look at the 8th house. It's not going to be in this order, but in the 8th house, again, is all about partnership and partnership strategy, shared finances, investments, joint ventures, and financial agreements. We're also going to look at the 11th house. This is Paco. He's still learning manners, and I'm just going to, I was just going to ignore him, but then he bopped me in my head. Okay, he's still learning manners, so. Let's see, the 11th house. Here's Veda. Oh, there she is. Oh, ow. Oh, they just want attention right now, so it's okay, girl. Okay, so the 11th house is our network and how we expand, opportunities that arise through alliances, professional communities, and long-term collaborations. And in this particular kind of like report that I did, I am going to go through the planet ruler of the second house. So if we follow the planet that governs the sign in the second house, we're going to see where personal income energy ultimately flows in the chart. So it's kind of like, for me, the planet ruler of the second house is going to, it might be a driver. It might be like a power driver force in how income and finances are going to operate in your life. So let's see. There we go. I guess down here is good. Okay, so we are going to go through, that's like a, I don't know, I'm calling it like a specialized financial thread. And then in the future, or even maybe in another video, I do believe the North Node is important. Also the South Node, balancing out it's not about ignoring the south node, but it's always about balancing out the energies. So it is a goal of mine to look at the north node. The north node indicates the growth direction of the life path, including areas where financial development and opportunity may evolve over time. Pluto, it's my personal favorite because Pluto is in my second house. And Pluto is for me, they say it's known as the planet of wealth. So it reveals themes of power, transformation, and deep financial cycles, especially around influence, investments, and collective resources. I'm not going to go over that today in this chart, but I may at a later time. Let's see. Jupiter is another planet that is highly important when it comes to finances. It's all about expansion. It's all about good luck. So the planet of expansion, opportunity, and prosperity, highlighting areas where growth, abundance, and financial optimism naturally arise. So the following chart is a fictional practice chart, and it's for entertainment purposes only. So it is my goal to do this as I guess a career. So if anyone is interested in getting an analysis, all of your information will be private and will remain protected. So this is a fictional chart. It's made up completely. And it is for entertainment purposes only. So we're going to get into the details of the birth chart. So we have date of birth, April 6, 1991, whole sign system. Boston, Massachusetts is the place of birth. And here it is. So we're going to be looking at the second house, the 8th house, the 10th house, and the 11th house. Because astrology can be really, really extensive. Like you can go like as far deep as I can sit here for hours really. Just to note here, Pisces is on the cusp. I didn't go include Pisces in this chart, but it will have an influence because it's on the cusp. So the energies will flow through. But I didn't go over that with this report. So here's the birth chart. Okay. So again, we're going to go into the second house, personal income foundation. We're going to go into the 10th house, career leadership, the 8th house, partnership strategy, and the 11th house, network expansion. So let's break down the birth chart. So here are the primary financial planets. We have Jupiter, 3 degrees in Leo in the second house. And this is all about personal finances, how you, where's your self-esteem at? What do you think about money? How do you relate yourself to finances? What's your self-esteem about it? And in this case, it was direct. So Jupiter being in Leo brings a financial theme of expansion of personal income, confidence driven earning potential, financial growth through creativity and leadership. So that's Jupiter. I think it's so cool to have Jupiter in Leo in your second house. I just feel like with Jupiter and in Leo, this person is definitely meant to get out there, make a name for themselves, be seen and just be vibrant and bold and a go-getter. And, with Jupiter and Leo, I think it's very positive energy driving someone forward. They got to get out there. They got to be seen. So this one's really cool. It's all about Jupiter, again, it's all about expansion. And Leo's going to bring a lot of the confidence driven around earning a potential. So that's really cool here. So again, that's the second house. The 8th house, we have Saturn in 5 degrees in the 8th house. Saturn, 5 degrees Aquarius. Okay, so the eighth house is all about shared resources. So with Saturn in Aquarius, 5 degrees, we're going to have, with Saturn, it's going to be structured. So with Saturn, you're going to feel secure and safe, or the need to have structure around shared resources, shared finances. So, and also you're going to be very disciplined and very strict around investments. And Saturn's gonna, you're gonna want there to be strategy. You're gonna want there to be a lot of insight and a lot of, you're not just going to, with like Jupiter, it's like a lot of good luck and maybe a lot of fast luck and maybe luck that comes and goes. I feel like a very positive thing is that Saturn's going to want to make sure that there's a steady, long-term strategy in place where it's not going to be all about luck. It's maybe about where, I don't know, maybe like, oh, I'm going to see where I have been lucky in finances, or, what career paths I have taken that I found the most success in, or that I was just really good at. And then maybe Saturn will bring in that kind of, that strict energy or structured energy of like honing in on that and making it a long-term play out, instead of Jupiter being maybe fast and quick, and Saturn's going to balance out that energy. So that's pretty cool for me to see that. So with the 10th house, we're going to look at kind of like the career facing side to making finances. So we have Mercury, and Mercury's retrograde, and it's in 28 degrees Aries. So we have, and we have the sun there as well. So we have the sun and Mercury in Aries in the 10th house. For me, I'm like, wow, another power player here with the sun in Aries, and even Mercury. But I think it's another great planetary placement. So that's really cool. So Mercury, career, and the sun. So with Mercury retrograde, we're going to want to be strategically thinking around the career decisions, careful communication in professional matters, reflective leadership planning. And with the sun, 16 degrees Aries in the 10th house, again about your career. The sun being your core identity. Again, language is for me sometimes very restrictive, so nothing's has to be the core of anything of you, right? Like, but the sun being in the 10th house, it can be a very important placement in how you, about your identity. In addition to that, it's going to show you where your leadership potential is, and visibility, right? The sun is what we see for half of the day. So visibility and authority driving financial success. And then lastly, we're going to go into Venus, into 22 degrees Taurus, which is in the 11th house, which has to do with how you network, how you build alliances, how your community. So Venus being in Taurus, that was such a cool placement to see too, because Venus is very, very happy in Taurus. So Venus likes the nice thing. So we're going to look to see how that's going to bring wealth, opportunities through networks, collaborations, and stable professional alliances. Okay, so let's go over a little bit about the elements and the planet dignities. I wasn't originally going to talk about this because, again, I feel like with astrology, you can keep it as simple as you need it to, especially if you're just starting out. Like, what is Jupiter and what is Jupiter? You can start with that. And like, what is Jupiter in Leo? And what is Jupiter in Leo in the second house? Like, how are these energies going to play out? So I wasn't really going to I'm not going to go too much into the elements and the dignities, but we can quickly review them. Because if not, this report could be like 1,000 pages long. So Jupiter, Leo, second house, all about personal income values. This is a fire element. And the dignity it's neutral there. So it's not, it's not its original placement, and it's not negatively like a negative. It's not necessarily a negative place for Jupiter to be in. So it's kind of a neutral. And the modality is fixed. So with that, Jupiter operates comfortably here, but without special advantage. Financial growth comes through confidence, creativity, and leadership. But success depends on actively using personal talents rather than relying on luck alone. Saturn, Aquarius in the 8th house, all about shared resources. It's an air sign, and it's in its domicile. It's happy there. It's Saturn in Aquarius, like that is where it rules. It's a fixed sign. Saturn is very strong in its home sign. This supports disciplined financial planning, careful investment strategies, and structured partnerships that can build stable long-term wealth. And that's great. Again, like if we can balance out any quick luck with long-term planning and kind of long-term stability, that's a great, happy place to be. Mercury retrograde, 28 degrees in the 10th house. It's kind of like career oriented. It's a fire sign, and it's a neutral dignity, and it's a cardinal sign. Mercury functions normally in this sign. Career success benefits from clear communication, quick decision making, and strategic thinking. Their ideas may evolve through review and refinement. With it being in retrograde, time to review, time to refine. So then we have the Sun in Aries in the 10th house. It's a fire sign. It's exalted, and it's a cardinal sign. The Sun is extremely strong in Aries. This placement amplifies leadership, potential ambition, and visibility in professional life, often creating strong opportunities for career-driven financial success. Okay. Okay. So let's do a quick review. The elements through a financial lens. We're going to look at the fire, earth, air, water elements. And in this particular chart that we're reviewing and the planets we've discussed so far, fire signs, we have Sun, Mercury, Jupiter. Why is this good when it comes to finances? Because it's going to be the action-oriented, wealth-building, entrepreneurial drive and leadership-based income. So the fire is going to give you the drive that you need to get out there, to sit at the table, to read the book, to build the website, to making that phone call, to the drive that you need, the dedication that you need to build what you need to build. So we have Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter. And then we have an earth sign with Venus. Venus is going to bring in that practical wealth building, stable financial alliances. Then we have the air with Saturn, strategic thinking in partnerships and investments. And we haven't seen any water signs just yet. So none in this set. And with water, it's usually the emotional, intuitive decision making. And in this case, it's not really present so far in the planets we are covering. Okay, so I think this is kind of like an extra chart. I wanted to include an area of like potential challenges, but I'm not going to really focus on that too much. Let's see if there's anything. Yeah, I guess with Jupiter, overconfidence, overly optimistic, spending, or relying on recognition rather than strategy. So that's just a kind of like a caution, or just energies to balance out. So balance out the, like, don't go gambling every weekend, right? Like, if you get lucky, that's good, and but balance out the overspending or overconfidence. You want to try to remain in a balanced state as much as possible. No biting that. Okay, so with Aquarius and Saturn and the shared house, shared investments, it talks about potential challenges being rigidity, fear of loss, delayed decisions, and difficulty trusting partners. So keep an eye out for that. Then we have, again, Mercury and the Sun in the 10th house, all about career and public success. Be mindful of impulsiveness, miscommunication, taking on too much at once, and burnout from over pushing. And then we have Taurus and Venus in the 11th house, all about networks and opportunity flow. Potential challenge could be resisting to change, over dependence on others, and holding on to partnerships that no longer serve growth. So yeah, I guess that's pretty helpful in balancing out the energy so far. So what makes this chart interesting is that there's a strong fire, earth, and air mix so far in the planets that we've covered. So we have Leo, fire, personal confidence and earning. Aries, fire, career initiative. Taurus, earth, stable networks. Aquarius, air, strategic financial agreements. I feel like an airbender. Earth, fire. It's funny. Okay, so that combination often produces someone who can earn boldly but structure wealth intelligently. And this is going to be kind of the main theme that we're going to be uncovering, the thread of this person's chart, that through the financial lens, with Jupiter being in Leo in the second house. Like, that is a major placement. The sun being in the house of career in Aries, you're going to be extremely having a lot of energy around your career, and hopefully a successful career. That's another big one. Saturn in your 8th house, it's going to bring in the structure that you need, or the strictness, or being mindful of how you are interacting with others. And hey, do we need to get a contract going? Like, what are the stipulations in the contract? Like, is it all going to be fair? And like, so I just feel like it's a great placement so far. So bold, Jupiter, the sun, Saturn, is another big energy. But we're going to try to bring in with Mercury and Saturn, we're going to try to be intelligent and wise in this. Okay, so let's further break this down. So again, the second house, and I will try to go over the themes multiple times just so that we can get comfortable with what we're looking at. So again, the second house is all about your relationship with money, how you view money, your values, and let's look at this. So the second house shows the native's personal relationship to money. So your relationship to money. What is your relationship to money? What do you think about it? So you can use the sign of the second house to answer how someone prefers to earn money, their value system, what gives them financial security, their instinct towards saving, spending, or building assets. The second house reveals income style, personal resources, tangible assets, self-worth connected to money. So that's why I think it's kind of like a financial foundation. This becomes the baseline of your psychology around finances. Excuse me. Okay. So before you analyze investments or career, you want to know, how do you fundamentally relate to money? Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to be talking about Jupiter in Leo in the second house, because that is what we've been talking about, and that's where this person, this fictitious chart, this practice chart, Jupiter in Leo. So let's look at that further. So we have Jupiter in Leo, second house, personal income, fire, neutral dignity. So this is a strong starting placement for personal income. Leo brings the themes of leadership, visibility, confidence, and creative authority. Jupiter tends to expand financial potential. Financial traits often include optimism around earning money, generosity with money, ability to attract opportunities, and confidence in financial growth. Income may grow through areas where the person is seen, recognized, or leading. Teaching, performance, leadership, consulting, entrepreneurship can all fit this signature. That's pretty exciting. So, eighth house, house of shared wealth and investments. This placement has Saturn in Aquarius in the eighth house, all about shared resources. So, this placement often shows a serious approach to shared finances. That's all fine with me. Saturn here tends to bring caution with investments, responsibility around debt or obligations, and strong boundaries with joint resources, careful financial agreements. Aquarius, so it's Saturn in Aquarius, adds a strategic or analytical mindset. This person may approach shared finances through systems, structure, long-term planning, and intellectual analysis. They rarely enter financial partnerships casually, but when partnerships are stable, this placement can build long-term shared assets. Okay. So let's look into further the 10th house, house of career and public success. We have Mercury with Aries in the 10th house, and we also have this. Did I finish this? I did not. The 10th, Sun in Aries, and I did not finish this part. Sorry about that. The Sun in Aries in the 10th house. But I do have a section below further talking about this placement here, so that's okay. Okay, so with Mercury, there's going to be a lot of distractions today, so I just have to be okay with that. So Mercury in Aries in the 10th house. Mercury indicates a career path. It's apparently rough playtime. Oh, okay. Mercury indicates a career path connected to communication, strategy, leadership thinking, independent ideas. Aries brings initiative and entrepreneur energy. Whoa. It's getting pretty intense out here with the dogs. Okay. Aries brings initiative and an entrepreneurial energy. Mercury here suggests earnings through speaking, teaching, consulting, analysis, writing, strategic advising. Because Mercury is retrograde, the person may develop their voice through reflection, revision, and experience rather than immediate confidence. Often, these individuals may become thought leaders after refining their ideas over time. And then we can go into this one a little bit further because it is a power placement in the chart. So Sun, Aries, 10th house. Okay. We're going to go into the 11th house, house of networks and opportunity flow. So we have Venus in Taurus, all about alliances and networks. This is a beautiful placement for network-based opportunities. Venus rules Taurus, so it's very strong here. Financial opportunities may arise through professional networks, supportive communities, collaborations, industry alliances. Relationships can open doors to profitable ventures, stable partnerships, resource sharing opportunities. This placement often indicates friends or networks that contribute to financial growth. So we're going to go through a quick synthesis of everything that we covered so far. So based on these 4 placements alone, the financial pattern looks like this. We have a a core wealth theme, confident personal earning potential supported by disciplined financial boundaries and strong professional networks. Key strengths are Jupiter, expanding personal income potential, then Venus, attracting in supportive alliances, and Mercury, driving career ideas and communication. And with Saturn, it's stabilizing our shared financial decisions. So that's kind of how all the planets are going to be supportive to one another, and our outlook about financial, bringing in, interacting with the financial realm of our life. Possible growth, balancing out the optimism about money, which Jupiter, it's big, it's expansive, there's a lot of good luck there. So let's balance that out with some caution in shared finances with Saturn. I love that. I love that Saturn can be at the table, and possibly with Mercury being in the 10th house of career, which is about communication, like let's think clearly, but also being able to have the hard conversations of like, you know, are we being smart about this deal, or what are the, do we have a contract? No matter who you're working with, it could be friends, families, new partnerships, new people that you've never met, but somehow, some way, you're now at a business meeting or having a business idea. Like, it's okay to get things down on paper. It's okay to, sign things off. It's okay to protect all parties. So I like that kind of energy. What makes this chart interesting? Again, we have strong fire, earth, air mix influences. Leo, in the second house, personal confidence and earning. Aries in the 10th house, career initiatives. Taurus, stable networks. Where was Taurus at? In the 11th house, stable networks. Aquarius, strategic financial agreements in the 8th house. That combination often produces someone who can earn boldly but structure wealth intelligently. And if you're new on this financial path, this is the potential of reading a birth chart like this, is seeing what could be the highest potential through the financial lens, and looking at certain houses and certain placement through the financial lens, finding the storyline, finding the thread. This is why I'm so drawn to using astrology, because I can see where the planets might have been placed at the time that you're born, that I was born, and be like, oh, I can utilize this energy, and this is the potential of using it. So for me, it's exciting. So, just the fact it produces someone who can earn boldly, courageously, unafraid, but can we, also balance that out with structuring things intelligently, and helping things last. Let's see, financial planets in this chart. So power planets, there's a lot of options here for like, what's the power, like where's the most of the power being held in the planets that we've discussed so far. You have the sun, all about career, all about leadership. Venus, all about networking and opportunities in the 11th house. And you have Saturn in the 8th house of strategic partnerships. Jupiter, personal income growth in the 2nd house. And you have Mercury, career planning in the 10th house. So let's see here. So going back into that thread of like, where is the power, like where is the power play in all this? Like what could I really pay attention to that's going to help me be successful and get things going? So beyond the house interpretation, I wanted to trace the planetary rulership of the 2nd house, all about personal, tangible assets, how one values money, how, what kind of, how I want to be working every day to be bringing in financial security and stability. So I wanted to follow that thread of what planet is ruling that house. This reveals the deeper root of income patterns, the hidden connection between career, partnerships, and money, and where effort creates compounding results. So this layer transforms the interpretation into kind of a strategy. And we actually see four, well, there's three strong financial players, but I don't know. I also am not going to, yeah, there's three, but I listed four here. So we'll put four. So Jupiter, second house, personal income. Sun, bold leadership and career driver. Saturn, shared financial structure. Venus, network-based opportunities. These are where the description here is based on what house it's sitting in. So I was kind of going between two power placements, but I decided on one on this interpretation of me just, following the chart and, excuse me, again, learning. Like I'm very much learning. I have to do a lot of research on this to compile this report. So, excuse me. So this chart here is going to talk about the I guess like the power placements. So for example, you have the career driver with the sun in the 10th house being in Aries, bold leadership and initiative drive career success and financial growth. Then so that's going to be the driving force. You're going to have a lot of drive around your career, but not only that, you're going to want to be in a leadership position. You're going to want to be an executive, any of the chief, placements you can be. Like, that's going to be an important part of your spiritual development, your personal development, your psychological development, your emotional development. Can you get yourself slowly and steadily into and appropriately into a leadership role? So you're going to want to think about spending a lot of energy and time onto that. Then you have Venus and Taurus in the 11th house. How do I amplify my resources, my financial list? How do I amplify that? So with Venus and Taurus, that's going to be the wealth amplifier. Opportunities expand through relationships, networks, and trusted alliances. So that's also equally important, right? When we talk about wealth, it's not all about what the dollar amount is in your bank account, but well, maybe it is, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it is about, how you are expanding through relationships, networks, and alliances. Maybe that brings a lot of fulfillment into your life. Then we have Jupiter, income expansion planet. We have that in the second house. So you're going to have a lot of confidence and creativity naturally attract income growth. So with Jupiter and being in Leo, there's going to be a lot of confidence and even being creative. And if you're struggling to have the confidence, then, sit with that and ask yourself how you can release and remove whatever's going through in your mind that is not allowing you to be and feel confident. Okay, you want attention, but you're so big. Oh. Oh. Yep, I gotta be okay with distractions. I knew that going into this. Okay. Let's just bring it in for a second. But please don't pop me in the mouth. Oh. Okay. All right. Thank you for the hugs. Are you done now? Thank you. Ooh. Okay. Down. I'm still learning and training. Okay, Paco. All right. I already knew there was going to be a lot of distractions today, so I just have to keep going because if not, this will never get done. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, as I was saying, confidence with Jupiter and Leo and creativity, you're probably going to find yourself easily attracting opportunities and bringing in money through that. Then the financial structure with Saturn in Aquarius in the 8th house. Long-term wealth grows through disciplined partnerships and strategic planning. So two placements were kind of like, I was like, wow, like if I had to kind of have a hierarchy or like level of importance, like first I was like, wow, Venus is in its home with Taurus. Like that's going to be kind of, it's just a beautiful placement. But we're going to just leave that as the financial amplifier. We're going to, for this interpretation, I'm following the thread that the sun being in the 10th house in Aries, like that's going to be your driving force. It's the money CEO because it directly drives career, income, visibility, and personal effort, which is the main source of wealth. And then with Venus being in Taurus in the 11th house, it's just going to amplify. It's going to amplify probably your workplace, personal on the side. If you have any side hustles or like, you know, your alliances, it's just going to make for a beautiful team. This is going to channel additional opportunity through networks, collaborations, and supportive relationships, but doesn't generate income independently. So that's why I wanted to say, like, this is a great placement to have. So in short, the sun runs the financial engine, Venus opens the door and smooths the pathways. Okay, so the financial driver, the commanding officer, in my early just learning how to ebb and flow in this journey that I'm on, learning this, I feel that confidence saying like the sun being in Aries in the 10th house is kind of like the commander in chief a little bit. So the strengths of that: sun is in the 10th house of career, authority, and visibility. Aries brings initiative, leadership, and entrepreneurial drive. 10th house naturally channels income through career and personal effort. The sun